like a murderer.
Yeah, you know why? Because this guy wanted to put a lot of pressure in the U.S. government. Because remember, the U.S. government at that time had imposed sanctions to the country, to the government, and they had done an oil embargo, a ban. So Venezuela was really having a hard time.
And oil being the primary export product of Venezuela.
Of course, and so they cut the oil export. So this guy began to ask for us to get lifted the sanctions, to get lifted the oil ban. Can you imagine that? So that these guys were asking a lot for us.
So that was the price.
That was the price.
That was the price.
That was the price.
So after, so while this is going on, while you're in the submarine, you're in these horrible conditions. The UN commission comes. They won't let the U.S. ambassador in to see you in the 11 visits. But now the Venezuelan government's starting to say, here's the reality. Let's talk about oil. Let's talk about creating a negotiation.
And they were open. They were shameless. They were shameless.
They weren't hiding it.
At the beginning, they tried to hide. The first year, to tell you the truth, they were trying to create a narrative. But at some point, they decided to openly begin to ask for us. So we became clearly political pawns and bargain chips. No doubt about it. And these guys were shameless. They began to openly send messages to the government what they wanted. And we were getting that information because the way it went, because as I said, we had like 10 months without communication. After that visit of the UN, they allow us to have the first call. And when I had the first call with my wife, she mentioned that they were having the direct conversation with the government. They were, pushing hard. Today I know that they were really pushing hard because my wife came here to Washington N times. She met with all the officials that can you imagine. She met with the vice president like 2 times and with the National Security Commissioner several times, with the State Department. She and the other 5 family were really, really involved in all this process. So these guys, when that happened, and they begin to ask openly, they relax, because it was like they begin to relax a little bit the situation, and they begin to allow us to have books and to have food and medicines. So when I begin to have the books, the medicines, and the food, that as I explained you, the way the logistic for us or all of us was really complicated because we were 6 guys that we were living here in the U.S. with all the family, with no family in Venezuela. So can you imagine how you can handle that? And then my family decided to my eldest son, he moved to Colombia. He flew to Colombia and he stayed in Bogota during 4 years, providing me food during 4 years. 4 years sending me food every week.
How did he set that up? How did that work?
Well, let me tell you, that was a logistic that today I still don't know how he did it. Let me say, he, from Bogota, every Monday, he began to do the grocery shop online. And at the beginning, Venezuela didn't have food, so he bought it in Bogota, he put it in a box, and he sent it to a courier. And there are somebody in Venezuela pick up the box. This guy that was doing the logistics, his wife, the wife of that guy, cooked. And they send me the containers of food every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Saturday. So 3 times in the week. So I have like a small fridge where I can put it there to have food during 2 days and a half. And then the next round, 2 days and a half. That's the way I began to smuggle the letters.